Hi everyone. Long time no see. I've just been really busy, if I'm honest, and not prioritizing the channel. But I hope this video makes up for the fact that I've not posted in a while, because these cookies came out delicious. I found the recipe on the back of a brown sugar C&H bag, and I saved the bag until I could get to it. But I think what makes this recipe really good is I've always made cookies with brown butter, but this recipe is specifically like for brown butter, and I think the ratios make it so that the cookies are thick and they don't spread out, because if you add too much sugar and your butter ratio is off, you'll get really thin cookies. So obviously the first step in this recipe is to brown the butter, and if you've never done that before, it is super easy. You just set the pan to medium heat and then just let the butter simmer. It gets really foamy, and at the end when it starts to brown, that part kind of happens a bit fast, so you just want to keep mixing it, but you'll get little bits, and that's when you know it is ready. And then you want to let it cool down a little bit in the pan, and then transfer it to a heat safe dish. And if you're impatient like me, then just put it in the freezer. But if you want to do it in two parts, then just put it in the refrigerator overnight. Basically, you just want the butter to get back to a solid, so that way when we whip it up, it can whip. So while the butter's chilling, I went ahead and I started putting together all the dry ingredients. This recipe is like a basic, kind of pretty basic with what goes in it. I mean, it's a chocolate chip cookie. As you can tell, I am not even measuring things, and they turned out fine. I mean, I'm just using my eyes. Oh, this was like a hot day, and so I wanted to cover everything up so the flies didn't get into it. Oh yeah, and then I did steal some chocolate from my dad. Use as much chocolate or as little chocolate as you want. I feel like sometimes you get a chocolate chip cookie and sometimes there's too much chocolate in it for me. And then I also did include the pecans, which I ended up putting those in the air fryer for like 10 minutes at 400 degrees. Highly recommend. They actually were one of the better parts of like why I really enjoyed the cookie. But you could use any other nut. I watch these videos back, and when I do the recording, and I just think I definitely could have cut this out more. Alright, so once you chop up all these extra ingredients and all the dry ingredients are mixed together, then you're gonna want to start putting everything in the big bowl. So, oh yeah, we whip the butter and the sugar together. That's really important. I could have waited a little bit longer, but like I said, I was very impatient to make these cookies. I think that's another reason why maybe they didn't turn out even better than they were supposed to be, but they still turned out really good. And I highly recommend doing this with a hand mixer, but I don't see why you couldn't attempt to do it just by hand. I don't think it would be the same, but I think you would still get the same flavor. I don't know if it would still look the same. But now I'm just incorporating everything together. I think maybe too, I over mixed some of the wet ingredients. Like when I watch this back, I really spent a long time mixing everything together when it should have been not so much overworked. Alright, if you haven't fallen asleep yet, that's incredible. I always fall asleep when I get to this part in the video. Oh, now we're gonna scoop out the dough. And this first time I laid them on the tray, I just did one scoop. And so they came out like this, and then I wanted them a little bit bigger, so the second batch I did a double scoop. And I'm gonna show you, yeah, they looked like that, and they looked a little bit bigger to me. So I really liked this recipe. If you're into chocolate chip cookies and brown butter, I highly recommend, or if you want to make these for somebody, definitely do. I will see you guys in the next video, hopefully in November. Alright, definitely subscribe. Okay, bye-bye.